At the end of Mass today, right after communion, we'll have just a brief period of Eucharistic adoration. We've been doing this on a monthly basis, and this is our weekend, just an opportunity to spend a little time with Jesus, truly present in the Eucharist, so that will happen. Also, just a warm welcome. These guys up here are coming off of the recent Men's Acts retreat that took place this weekend. So they've been out about an hour from here at a retreat center since Thursday night. And this is kind of the last thing coming back for Mass. And so we welcome you, gentlemen, welcome back, parishioners. And then the team from the Church of St. Mary in Tulsa that missioned our parish and brought the Acts retreat to us. So we're glad that you're here. When I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones. I know it's hard to even imagine such a time existed, but it did. And when you didn't have a cell phone, and you wanted to find your friends, you did one of two things. You called from the phone in the kitchen, remember those? The phone in the kitchen, to their phone in their kitchen, and you tried to, and maybe they were home, and you got them, and you'd organize, and let's go play this or that. Or you would do something that in our world today is almost crazy. You would physically go to their house. You would knock on the door or ring the doorbell. Right? The culture has shifted. Now, if you're home and there is a knock at your door or the doorbell rings, I think most of us, you hide behind the couch. You kind of dip down or you kind of hide in the bathroom. Because if somebody really wants to find you, they're gonna find you probably on your phone. And so God forbid somebody knock on your door or ring the doorbell. We have a different culture these days towards kind of the unexpected guest. What I love about the readings today is that there is, in all of these readings, the first reading in the Gospel especially, there's a curiosity in those that the church gives us today. So Samuel, right, a young man, and he's sleeping, and he hears this voice. And he thinks it's Eli coming from the other room. And so he easily dismisses it. Just, okay, it's the guy down the hall. Well, the voice keeps coming. And finally, Samuel realizes that it's not Eli. It's not another human person who's calling out his name, that it's God. And so Samuel responds with great expectation, with great curiosity. And he says, basically, "Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening." Samuel doesn't put any conditions on it. He just simply says, "Lord, I'm listening. I'm open. I'm curious. What do you have to say to me?" The same thing happens in the gospel. These two disciples, they're with John the Baptist, and John the Baptist points Jesus out to them and says, "Behold the Lamb of God." The two disciples, there was within them a curiosity. Who is this guy? And so they go to him and they ask him very simply, where are you staying? And Jesus says those beautiful words. He invites them and he just simply says, "Come and you will see." And then the next line could maybe just blow right by us. Jesus says, "Come and you will see." The next line of the gospel says, "And they went." They didn't put conditions on following Jesus. They didn't say, "Okay, well, if you're staying close by, we would love to go. If you're staying far away, we're not interested. Right? If it's snowing outside, we're not going. Right? Oh, it's not so? Okay, we'll go. Is it going to be difficult to follow you? If so, then we're gonna stay here. If it's going to be easy, then we'll follow you." They don't put any conditions on following him. They just go. Then later on, Andrew invites his brother, Simon, and says, "We found the Messiah." And Simon Peter responds with curiosity, right? With this openness. He says, basically, "Show me. I want to meet him. Let's go." So these invitations are met with just this great curiosity, not putting conditions on the particular invitation. The knock at the door, the ringing of the doorbell of Samuel and these disciples and Simon Peter, right? They want to respond generously. We can learn a lot from their trust. Many times in life, things do not go our way. Many times in life, things do not go as planned. Many times in life, we find ourselves in circumstances that we don't really want to be in, or that we didn't choose, or maybe we chose it and now we regret it. There are times when we're just not where exactly we want to be. These are moments for trust. Times of transition, times of illness, times of losing a loved one, times of a new job or a new school, or all those things that come along in life no matter how old you are. Maybe you moved recently. Maybe you had to find a new group of friends, right? Those transitions that happen in our lives, and they're hard. They're difficult. The readings of today, I think, invite us into a relationship of trust. Samuel did not put conditions on God's plan for his life. He simply said, I'm listening. Tell me what you want me to do. The disciples did not put conditions on following Jesus. They just simply said, where are you staying? We want to see it. We want to follow you. And off they went. Simon Peter, when Andrew said, this is the Messiah, he didn't say, well, tell me more about him. He said, I'm going to follow him, right? Without conditions. Difficult things happen. Life happens. And what we're asked by the Lord is to trust. And that's hard sometimes. But to trust that we're in the right place, that this is the right time, and that we're going to be okay. God desires our flourishing. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't always come to fruition. But God desires that for us and invites us into this beautiful relationship of trust. Not of perfection, not of everything I want, I get, but rather this trust. When he says, come and you will see. Those words are for us today, my friends. We're invited into this relationship with the Lord. And it's a relationship that is personal. When we come to Mass, and when we are in the presence of the Eucharist, or when we receive the Eucharist, it's personal. God is inviting himself into our lives. It's personal. God desires our flourishing. God invites us into this relationship of trust. So, whatever that looks like for you today, I just encourage you to look at these readings again, to do what Samuel did, to simply say, Lord, I'm open, I'm curious. What do you have in store for me? That's the first step. God invites us into this relationship today. He gives us himself in the Eucharist to strengthen us and to tell us, I love you. I love you. And I want what is best for you. Follow me, and I'm going to take care of you. That's the invitation today. In times of transition, in times of difficulty, we follow Christ's invitation. Come and you will see. And we respond with curiosity. We respond with generosity. Speak, Lord, your servant is listening.